All right, a Fox News alert now. Attorney General Pam Bondi is addressing the crowds in Brooklyn, New York, after a guilty plea from El Chapo's former partner in crime. Let's listen in.
Texas, Justin Simmons, and acting assistant AG Matt Gagliotti, who I'm with almost every day as well. We're here to announce a landmark victory for the Department of Justice, our law enforcement partners, and the United States of America. As you've heard, drug kingpin Ishmael Zambada Garcia, also known as El Mayo, has confessed to a lifetime of crime in service to the Sinaloa cartel, a foreign terrorist organization. Thanks to the relentless work of our prosecutors and our federal agents, El Mayo will spend the rest of his life behind bars. He will die in a U.S. federal prison where he belongs. His guilty plea brings us one step closer to achieving our goal of elimination of the drug cartels and the transnational criminal organizations throughout this world that are flooding our country with drugs, human traffickers, and homicides. Under President Trump's leadership, the Department of Justice is on the front lines of this fight. We're standing shoulder to shoulder with all of our law enforcement partners to dismantle these narco-terrorists. And that's exactly what they are. They are narco-terrorists. El Mayo was one of the most prolific and powerful drug traffickers in this world. His partner was El Chapo. They were co-founders of the Sinaloa cartel. They brutally murdered multiple people and flooded our country with drugs. Their reign of terror is over. He will never walk free again. Over the last 3 decades, El Mayo and his accomplices...
All right, you've been listening to the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. She's in Brooklyn, New York, talking about a guilty plea the Justice Department has now extracted from El Chapo's former sidekick, known as El Mayo. We will be right back.
8 federal inmates, once on death row for murders, including the killings of fellow prisoners, gang-related stabbings, and the slayings of 2 campers, have been transferred to a notorious Supermax prison in Colorado, the Justice Department told Fox News Digital. The news comes as U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi looks to crack down on the previous administration's sweeping clemency actions. The 8 former death row inmates were transferred Tuesday to the U.S. Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility in Florence, Colorado, also known as ADX, Justice Department officials confirmed. They were among the 37 death row inmates whose sentences Biden commuted in late December, prompting criticism and complaints that the record clemency and commutation actions were done as a political Hail Mary and without proper vetting. More of the death row inmates are expected to be moved to ADX, some within weeks, according to one individual familiar with the matter. The 37 death row inmates commuted by Biden are all expected to be moved to the facility by early next year, the Justice Department source told Fox News Digital. The effort comes as Bondi and the Trump administration have sought to reverse some of the Biden administration's efforts on criminal justice reform for certain criminals, and instead move to prioritize violent crime and cracking down on the nation's worst offenders. Though a commutation cannot be fully reversed, Justice Department officials told Fox News Digital, Bondi has prioritized ways to penalize these individuals, in coordination with directives from Trump, and to ensure that the conditions of confinement are consistent with the security risks those inmates present because of their egregious crimes, criminal histories, and all other relevant considerations, according to an earlier DOJ memo. The 8 inmates sent to ADX this week were each convicted of first-degree murder within federal jurisdiction. Many had been convicted of crimes that were especially heinous or violent. One individual was convicted of murdering a married couple who was camping at a campsite in the Ouachita National Forest in July 2003. Another was convicted of kidnapping, robbing, and murdering a 51-year-old local bank president by tying him to a concrete block and chain hoist and tossing him off of a bridge and into a lake. Many had also killed prisoners while serving time, a factor that can be used in weighing whether to transfer a convicted felon to a higher security prison. ADX is the only true federal Supermax prison in the U.S., and its inmates are as notorious as the prison's reputation. Among them are Ramzi Youssef, convicted in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, one of the Boston Marathon bombers, former Sinaloa cartel leader Joaquin Guzman, or El Chapo, and Mamdouh Mahmoud Salim, the co-founder of Al-Qaeda. President Biden's decision to commute the death sentences of these monsters showed abhorrent disregard for our justice system and total disrespect for victims' families already suffering through immense loss, Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a statement to Fox News. After meeting with many of the victims' families at the Department of Justice and promising to take action on their behalf, 8 of these prisoners have been transferred to the Colorado Supermax prison ADX. This will ensure that they spend the remainder of their lives in conditions consistent with the egregious crimes they committed, she added. Shortly after her confirmation as Attorney General, Bondi issued a memo aimed at restoring a measure of justice to the victims' families. The measures granted by Biden earned more criticism than former President Barack Obama. As Fox News reported at the time, the vast majority of Obama's clemency actions focused on commuting the sentences of federal inmates who met certain criteria outlined under his administration's clemency initiative. Bondi hosted victims' families earlier this year to hear their concerns about the commutations, DOJ said. Some said they had been stunned by the 11th hour commutations, and that they'd not been given a heads up by the Biden administration. In February, Bondi issued a memo to the Bureau of Prisons ordering an evaluation of where these prisoners should be detained.